Hello, 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 and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jameelah, and I am a master manifester, and I'm sure you are too, because you're watching content like this. The name of this channel is Manifesting Magic the Practical Way, because there are a lot of practicalities to manifesting those lives that we choose. What I'm talking about today is the fact that you are not put here to fix anything or to fix anyone. And I think that as you get along your spiritual journey and you move forward in life, you'll start to see a lot more situations to where drama or chaos is unfolding, but you have no desire to step in and try to address it or put your spin on it or either get yourself involved, right? And so someone might say, okay, well, that's, you're just, it's deferring, you just, deference. You're changing your attention to something else and you're acting like these things don't exist, but that's not the case. I find that it is is a higher level of spiritual maturity and emotional maturity, spiritual awareness, because spirituality is there. There's no maturity it needs. There's a higher level of spiritual awareness and emotional maturity when we are walking into environments and realizing that fixing things is not our primary concern. I think that's one of the biggest problems we get ourselves in, especially when it comes to meeting people, being in relationships, connecting to environments. The first thing that we do is analyze what we like and what we don't like, because that's what our brains do. It does, it judges things constantly. What feels comfortable, what feels good, what doesn't feel comfortable, what feels good. We may have those moments where we're extra open, but there's still a certain amount of gatekeeping that's happening in your head. And so, depending on where your boundaries are. And so, it's very easy to go into environments and think, okay, um, I have the answers for this. This is what they're doing wrong. This needs to be fixed. That needs to be changed. What is happening with that? But this is what I've learned. Every time I've tried to step in and take over a situation by using my words, by, thinking that I had the perfect sentence or the perfect line to clear everything up and to make it right. And it's been the case a couple of times where I stepped in and I was able to be a problem solver and I was just right on time and everybody agreed and it went well. And it's just like you look like you were level headed. But there's also other times where you walk into environments and what you want to add or what you want to change or shift, there is a deeper story to it. And because there's a deeper story to it, you understand that you're not privy to all of the information related to why this issue exists. And when you reach that level of emotional maturity, you free yourself from the need to be the regulator everywhere you go, because outward regulation is a form of control, which is perfectly fine. But many environments don't require your control. Like we sometimes don't understand that we are this thing that we are trying to project to be. So we start to go into environments and possibly overcompensate. And a number one way people overcompensate in environments is always trying to be a fixer, a changer, um, you know, an action maker, if I can come up with a better term, but a person that sort of gets everything in line and gets it in order, right? But when you don't have all the information, you can't be that person. And really developing your emotional maturity and really tapping into your spirituality, it's going to create this resistance in you that you can't even be that person even when you want to, that you can no longer walk in environments and think, this is wrong, that's wrong. Let me give my opinion. So while you may have an opinion, you may have a suggestion, you may even see where you think your idea might be something that could be useful, but you're willing to be called upon and you're willing to wait for someone to say, hey, what do you think of this? Because you realize that anything before that moment comes, it's going to be you badgering other people, knocking a square peg into a round hole, trying to get other people to understand a higher level perspective. When at the same time, ironically, you're leaving your higher level perspective to get down into the minutia to try to drag them up. That is not going to help. So just something to keep your eyes on and something to think about when we are really spiritually awakened, when we are really tapping into that spiritual part of ourselves and trying to be the highest version of ourselves and doing our meditations regularly, meaning not even just, sitting with your eyes closed, but just creating that space in your mind and that clarity that you need in order to be a good problem solver, right? so that when you say things or when you have something to add, it's profound and it's meaningful. And you're not just seen as another person caught up in the minutia of things, right? Because being another person that seems like they're a part of the problem or create, you think you can fix the problem and not really allowing things to breathe, really doesn't put you in a position that you think, right? You don't seem like a fixer. You seem like another person who's another part of the problem. You've probably heard plenty of times in your life where people say, just leave well enough alone. And it's not even about ignoring or walking away from things where you know you could be of assistance. It's knowing when and where those times are needed because it's not for everything. Some things are so deep down in the minutia and so far below you that you have to just keep on walking, hold your head up, keep on walking. And it's because it's not going to serve you to get on a low vibration with other people in order to quote unquote solve an issue for them, right? So sometimes what I do, and this is the way that I approach things when I'm in an environment and I see something going off the rails. I've been in so many environments to where people are working on projects, trying to bring new initiatives, trying to create something that they've never seen before, so they say. But trying to like develop these really cool projects. I've been on so many of those kind of projects. And what I do notice, like if a project is starting to go off the rails, like it gets a scope creep, is what it's often called, meaning that the scaling of it is getting too large. And we wanted it to be the simple thing, but then you got all these people involved. And it's so easy in those situations to think, I know what went wrong with the project. I know who was off. I know what, I know what person didn't pull their weight. I know it, right? But I cannot think of a way that that best serves me in any kind of way. Running to people and telling them, well, this person didn't follow the orders like they were supposed to. They had a deliverable on this date that they didn't get to, and we couldn't, I'm just not that kind of person. And so when I run into these things where other people think you're supposed to fix it too, I'm always like, sorry, buddy, but this is not a vibration that I'm willing to get on. I'm not willing to get on the level that I have to approach in order to fix this problem is way too low. It would be different if people are ready to raise themselves to a new level and then they come to you and then you're approached at your level. You don't have to dip down to try to sort out the minutia, right? We're not here to fix things like that. I don't believe we are. We're here to improve ourselves. More people doing self improvement, more people tapping into the spirituality, more people improving their emotional maturity means a better world no matter what, right? But more people who get a little spirituality and a little bit of emotional maturity and go thinking that they are superior to everyone in the world who doesn't have that level yet does not fix anything. It doesn't help the people. Because even if you do fix the problem, and even if you are the person that regulates and gets things together, they're not going to be happy about it because they don't like the fact that you nosed your way in to try to overcompensate or overfix something or something. And you think, well, didn't I help? Didn't I approve? Didn't I provide this? Didn't I? What I understand when it comes to help with people, until they come to you, until they make it known that they are looking or seeking or trying to find help, or they're not bringing up conversations to where they really want your honest opinion, you're wasting your time. So when I see someone asking a conversation and I realize they don't want empty pleasantries and it's an honest approach, I'm like, well, this may not be a popular opinion, but that's what I'm going to do. But I'm never going to sit there and hear nonsense happening or see nonsense unfolded in front of me and thinking, I'm not talking about anybody in danger. That's another level. But I'm talking about just, petty political, personal, social, emotional nonsense. Anytime you see that happening, don't ever pull yourself into it. Make them see the light and come towards the light. Because in that instance, you're going towards the darkness. Do you really think solving a problem requires you to go towards the darkness? I don't think that it does. I think it requires you to recognize and analyze and understand the darkness. And then you wait patiently for the opportunity for your light to actually be impactful, and um, effective, right? I was like, that was a word I had in my head. To wait for it to actually be impactful and effective. Because let me tell you, you can glow like the sun. You can be as amazing and groundbreaking and breathtaking as you know you are. And I believe there are lots of people out there like that. Not lots, but there are quite a bit of people out there like that. You can be all of those things, but when you go into in a place and you are trying to get people to see it, you automatically lower your frequency. You automatically get on a lower level. There's no way to get around that. So my life idea is about fixing people and fixing things. It's I don't drop down to lower vibrations. Anybody can have any type of information. They can have any type of assistance and motivation. I've been a good mentor to quite a few people. I've given away books for free, all these things, right? I'm good with that. But what I'm not going to do is come down to that level and try to help you sort out problems that are not being looked at on the highest frequency. I'm like, you're not available yet for the solution. And it's perfectly okay. And I remember times in my life where I wasn't available yet, People they see you, and I've seen people that I thought was so wise and that they should have had some information from me or whatever, but they probably did. But because my expression was everything's a problem, they weren't willing, even if they didn't know they were doing this, to drop down to that frequency and dig through that minutia with me. And nobody should have to do that. So you are not here to fix things. You're not here to fix people. You're here to be a guide and you're here to be a light. And when people are ready for that guide and that light, they come looking for it. You don't have to stump on a platform because anything outside of that is going to lower your vibration. You have to focus on the person, you. You have to focus on your mindset, keeping your head straight, keeping your priorities in order, and making sure that you're on top of yourself so that you can be a benefit to other people and you're not a emotional reaction happening every 5 minutes, right? And people will respect that. They have to because it's a high level of level headedness, and it's also um, letting people know you're not to be played with. Like I don't want to play in the pig pen. I'm not about to do that. What I'm going to do is the exact work that we're supposed to do. I'm going to get this job done, but I'm not going to sit here and care about your feelings and emotions as it relates to projects. And your ideas. And my idea didn't get through. It's like, dude, it's okay. Nobody's ideas are always going to make it through. And so this is a level you can't you can't drop to. And I feel so grateful because I feel like I'm at a place in my life where I can really observe these things that I've always been a part of, but I never truly tapped into what was going wrong on my end. And my end was thinking that I was some type of superhero in many instances and that I had all the right answers and that I could solve problems. What I realized, a lot of people aren't trying to solve their problems because when they're really ready to solve them, they automatically get on Google asking questions, searching things. What's the answers? And if you're in the vicinity of them, they know that you can be a solution to some problem that they're having. But until that happens, no, no minutia. I don't do it in family. I don't do it at work. I don't do it with my children. I'm not going down to that level with you until you decide, oh, I really want to make a change or difference. And I have people that's done it to me. And they're like, I'm not going down that level with you. And I appreciated it because what it made me do was turn in and try to figure out how to how to fix my level of confusion or frustration that I was experiencing. And through that critical thinking process, I'm creating new synapses in the brains. I'm learning new ways to problem solve. I'm learning new ways to critically think. And I'm learning that I can solve my own problems and that I have the solutions within me, especially if I get rid of anger or frustration and disgust, right? And so your goal is to help everybody understand that there's that part of them in themselves. And the only way to do that is to not go into the minutia with them. When people are ready and open enough to say, okay, what's an answer for this? That's a higher frequency because it's a frequency of the receptive mode. Like when people are blocked and thinking that the solutions aren't there and nobody can fix the problems and they can't fix it and it's just a mess, there's no openness. And so you can't dive into those spaces. Anyway, I hope y'all are having a wonderful, wonderful day. I decided on my videos, I'm no longer ever going to ask people to like, subscribe, or share anything. And it's not that I'm, I just think it's not necessary. I'm not about to do that. I like doing this channel because I think it's great to share this information that I've come across. Of course, I like when it grows. I think that's cool, right? And of course, I have some personal mental goals about what it does, but I'm no longer going to sit there and go on about, like, subscribe, and share if you like the content. And like, dude, these are grown people. We've been using YouTube for a long time. When you like people, you go subscribe to them. When you like the channel, you hit the little thumbs up, whatever. That's what people do. So It's just a decision I made. I'm like, I'm no longer gonna say that. I only copied it from other people on YouTube, so it wasn't even organically something that I cared about. So anyway, I've taught classes with 30 people in it, and it feels like a million. So any level of people liking what I put out here is very exciting to me. Anyway, I hope y'all have a wonderful, wonderful day.